welcome to Gulfstream today. Katie Stazak here. I'm joined by track announcer Pete Aiello. Pete, happy Belmont Day.
Indeed, and it's going to be a great afternoon of racing, both here in South Florida with 3 stakes races and up north at Belmont Park. It's a great day to be a horse racing fan, that's all I can tell you.
It certainly is. American Pharoah is going to try to become the next Triple Crown winner today, and we have great action live here at Gulfstream, and we'll be having a Belmont Stakes watching party. Pete and I will get to our Belmont picks at the end of the show, but we're going to start the day with our 10 race card, and it's going to be fun because we have a Rainbow Six carryover that continues to grow and grow. That's going to start in race number 5 today. We have over $80,000 in the pool. It's going to span races 5 through 10, and that includes a couple of really fun stakes that we're going to have. We also have a carryover in the Super High 5 today. That's the last race, race number 10. More than $7,000 in the pool, and when there's a carryover in the Super High 5, they bet it like nothing else. You see some pretty big numbers, so those are 2 exciting bets that we have going on today. So let's start things off. We'll get right to the first race. It's a $35,000 maiden claimer. 3-year-olds and up, going to be going a mile and a 16th on the turf course. A few scratches in here of the 2, the 3, and your main track only 11. Pete, who'd you go with in this race?
Well, I actually went with the 2 Summation Road, so I scratched into the 4 Hummed, dropping in class, first time on turf for trainer Ralph Nix. Horse is bred to handle the turf just fine. Second start off the layoff. He should be better this time than he was the last time. Couple that with the drop in class and the stretch out. They're trying to wake this horse up. He hasn't exactly been professional in the afternoon.
The combination of the class drop, the stretch out, and the surface switch can certainly give him a boost. I have him on the ticket as well, and I'm glad to see that you do. We both also use the 1. That's Good Rider, and that's my top selection. This 3-year-old made a bid along the rail to get up for 3rd, just a half length from 2nd, behind another horse in this field, iPhone Addiction. That was last time out on May 8th. It was his first start since February and his debut with Lasix. That was at a mile. Should be fitter in his second start back from the break and be well suited to the extra 16th of a mile. Edgar Zayas is going to be aboard. He is returning today for the first time since falling in a spill on April 22nd. Welcome back, Edgar, and hopefully I can see him pick up a win in his first mount back today. Pete, you also used in here the 5 to cap your ticket. That is Running on Guinness.
Yeah, first time Lasix, Panici on the grass. Seemed like a good idea at the time.
We'll move right on to the second race. This one is a $6,250 claiming event. Fillies and mares, 3-year-olds and up, will be sprinting 6 furlongs on the main track. Scratch the 5, Crazy Laura. Pete and I both went with the same top horse in here. That's a good sign, and that's Good Song. This one going to be making her first start off the claim for trainer Kathleen O'Connell. After finishing 4th at this level and distance on April 30th, she was well beaten that day by a runaway winner in Yes, Miss Olga, but just missed the show by a half length. She's an 8-time winner at the distance, and I think she can improve for the new connections. Have to love Harry Hernandez in the irons. Pete, why did you put this one on top?
For those same reasons, but the thing about Good Song is, speaking candidly, she's been awful her last 2 races, so that's the kind of the handicapping angle for me. This is first start for Kathleen O'Connell. She's been freshened up since then, so maybe something was amiss, and if there's anybody who can fix it and get a horse to move forward, it's Kathleen O'Connell.
So if a horse can beat Good Song, you think it's the 1, Phoebe Moon. Tell me about that one.
Yeah, a horse coming in from Tampa, dropping out of wide open, handed back-to-back defeats by This Is She, who was a sharp winner who came over here and didn't fare very well against much tougher. Her races at Gulfstream Park are just okay. She's actually 6 for 9 in the top 3. She'll be rallying from off the speed under Jesus Rios and is a viable alternative in this race.
I also used the 7, Lady from Havana. This one's from the Larry Pilati barn. Going to cut back to 6 furlongs today after finishing 2nd to another runaway winner in my house last time out when going a mile on March 6th. This 5-year-old has hit the board in 5 of her last 6 starts for Pilati. I like that consistency, but the concern is that she's winless in 5 starts at a mile. Pete, who else did you use?
I backed into the 8-horse Pom Pom Power from off the speed. This is a horse that comes in from Tampa. Not sure where she fits on a class level, but we'll find out here today. This race is kind of tricky. I think some of the later races will provide a little bit more clarity than the first couple.
These will be some good races, too, to see how the track is playing when you're getting your Rainbow Six ticket together. So we'll move on to race number 3. This one is also a $6,250 claiming event. 3-year-olds and up, non-winners of 3 lifetime will be going a mile and a 16th on the main track. Pete and I both used the 9. That is a really good guy, but Pete, you put him right on top.
Yeah, I think he's got a chance at a price here. This was a race where, much like you, I have the same 3, and I don't have a huge separation between my top horse and my third horse. So in those cases, I'm always going to pick the horse that's going to be the best price on top of the ticket. Really good guy, fits that bill. He comes from way back. He's a horse that's a one-run horse. You have to unleash him and just let him go. So David Baracca will have his hands full to try to figure out when to push that button. But really good guy, has good form. I think he's well spotted to make his South Florida debut.
I was impressed with his last start, especially considering that he was stretching all the way out to a mile and a 16th that day from 6.5 furlongs to his previous start.
Yeah, he flattened out. Silver Halo was one of the favorites in that race, and Abu's Dream, they fought it out to the wire. Abu's Dream went to Delaware, actually just finished 4th the other day, so the race is just okay as far as a class level goes, but his running style should be just fine against these.
Pete and I are using the same 3 horses. I put the 10 Shiva Curlin on top, and Pete, I know this is a horse that you really liked in the past, and I think disappointed you last time out. This 4-year-old made a 4-wide bid to get up for second last time out on May 23rd for trainer Aubrey Mirage. That was at this level, going a mile. I think the son of Curlin should really relish the stretch back out to a mile and a 16th. It's a distance at which he boasts a win and a second from just 3 starts, and I think he could find himself controlling the pace in a race that is devoid of a whole lot of speed.
Yeah, Shiva Curlin, Katie, you hit the nail right on the head. I didn't use him on top because I'm mad at him. I thought he could not possibly lose last time. Made a move inside and flattened out pretty bad. The other horse we used on the ticket is the 1 Keystone Cop. Here's the caveat. If you're using Keystone Cop, especially if you're thinking about singling him, please go back and watch his race 2 back. He hung like a chandelier.
We'll move on to the 4th race, and this is one that I am very excited about. This is the $60,000 Parrot Key Handicap. 3-year-olds and up going to be sprinting 6.5 furlongs on the main track. Scratch the 5 Awesome Union, and this race features a rematch of 2 horses in here. Pete and I have those same 2 horses in order in our exactas. That is Grand Shores and City of Weston. We're going to take a look back at the last time they raced when they faced each other in the Blue Heron Handicap, and they did not finish in the order in which we have them today. You're going to see the 7 City of Weston get the better of the gritty Grand Shores. Grand Shores kind of gets pinned down at the rail a little bit, and Edgar Prado was aboard City of Weston and just gave him a tremendous ride to win this race. And, you know, this was City of Weston's first start off the claim for trainer Peter Walder, and he really just moved forward for the barn and seems to be relishing in Walder's care. I think those 2 are the top 2 in the race, but we both ended up giving the edge this time to Grand Shores.
I gave it to Grand Shores strictly on the fact that if you did watch that replay, you'd notice that they covered a quarter in 23-3, and City of Weston was vying for the lead. That in itself is amazing to me, that even though they were going slow, City of Weston could sit close and kick. Grand Shores is a horse that he looks like a horse that wants to be on or near or not on the lead. He doesn't really care. But the point is that City of Weston had a tactical advantage the last time. Rodney Sudine had never ridden Grand Shores in the race until last time out. Eddie Castro has the call today. So tactically, I think it'll be a lot different than it was last time.
I agree. I think Grand Shores could have been hustled out and kind of said, come and catch me, come and get me last time out, and he didn't.
Yeah, and I think this time they don't have to worry about it because Trev will supply the speed as well as the 2 sing another song. But I think I would be very surprised to see Grand Shores behind City of Weston early, which was the case last time.
And he draws outside of City of Weston today, so that helps too. Who else did you use on the ticket?
I went for I didn't want to go ABC again, so I used this 7-horse Black Diamond Cat. He is a stakes winner over this course. In fact, he's made almost $200,000 over the Gulfstream strip. He's made almost $500,000 lifetime. Caraballo and Larry Bates. I don't think he can threaten the top 2, but he can complete your try.
I feel the same way with the 1 Trev, one of 2 Kirk Zadie entrants in this race, won an off-the-turf allowance last time out on May 6th. 3rd in his lone try at this distance, but again, think you're seeing your top 2 right where they should be. So we'll move on to race number 5. This is a $6,250 claimer, 3-year-olds and up, which have not won 2 races, or 3-year-olds will be sprinting 5.5 furlongs on the main track. And this race does begin the Rainbow Six. So this is where you want to be paying attention and figuring out how deep you're going to go and where you're going to want to single. Pete and I went with completely different horses here, so that is an inclination that you're going to want to go deep in this opening leg of the Rainbow Six. Pete, tell us about the 10, Sexy Boy.
Sexy Boy makes his third start off on a very extended vacation. Now, I take a look at the favorite in this race, number 9, Casanova Way. I was not impressed at all, so I'm going to try to beat the favorite in this race with number 10, Sexy Boy, just because the other horses that were accorded a chance. It goes back to the same thing. You were touching on the fact that we need to spread in this race, and I think that that's very much true, because I don't see a huge distinction between the favorite and about the 7th choice. So again, for me, just based on the fact that we are gambling on these races with the value involved, I want to take the 7th choice and hope that that margin of error just gets narrowed, because there's not a whole lot of margin of error for the 9 Casanova Way and the 10 Sexy Boy. I think he's dropping in class here today. These are significantly easier foes, at least in my opinion. So I think maybe he has a chance to upset here.
I have to agree. There are a lot of ways you could go, as evidenced by Pete and I's selection. But let's talk about the 9 Casanova Way, who I did end up putting on top of the ticket. This is a 3-year-old son of elusive quality. The key for me, which I think, it's a bit of a guess, but it could show a vast improvement. He's making his first time as a gelding today for trainer Wesley Ward, who has done well implementing that strategy, that move in that category, you could say. This one followed up his maiden breaking score with a 5th place finish at the $12,500 level back on April 15th. I think he seems to have found himself an ideal spot because, like you mentioned, it seems to be a weak group, but there are a lot of ways you could go.
Exactly right. I mean, this horse is definitely in a good spot. He certainly has every opportunity to win, and as you said, the ultimate equipment change will maybe help him out. The 4 horse in here is intriguing to me, Dinner Time. I just can't believe he's as bad as his last 2 races show. He's dropping in class again today. This is his 4th consecutive start where he's dropping in class. Not exactly a positive sign, but I can trust Fernando Abreu to try to get him to show something, which he hasn't lately.
Yeah, I like the connections there. So let's go on to race number 6. This race is going to begin the pick 5 today. This is another nice race. This is a maiden special weight, 3-year-olds and up. Going to be sprinting 5.5 furlongs on the main track. The reason why I say this is a nice race is because I really like, Pete and I seem to be in agreement. He likes the horse too, son of a Derby winner from his first start. Last time out was pretty impressive, I thought, for his career debut. We're going to take a look back at that race. This is from May 16th, and you're going to be looking at the 3 here, son of a Derby winner. This is his career debut, first ever time racing. Going to duel on the rail coming into the stretch with a horse named Sarliff from the Gustavo Delgado barn, and he's just going to end up being edged by that rival. But I like the way that he fought on and showed a bit of tenacity in his career debut. A little bit of greenness, kind of starts to drift in and out as he's getting tired late. First time ever on the racetrack, and he was beaten by a horse in Sarleff that already had race experience. He's only beaten by a small margin. I think he can build off of that today.
Well, you should see the horse that was 3rd and closing at son of a Derby winner. That was number 1, More Applause. He ran the other day, and he freaked. He won by, I want to say 12. It might have been more than that. I mean, he freaked. So the race that he's coming out of is certainly quality enough. Starliff was making his first start off an extended vacation after 1 race at Churchill for Gustavo Delgado. So I think the form holds up pretty well for him. I also think he's going to be a lot of people's singles in the Rainbow Six. I see 2 of them in the sequence. This is 1, son of a Derby winner. The key question is, you have first-time starters all over the place, and if any of those horses can run, it may be a different story.
One of those first-time starters is the 2 free runner who is from the Gustavo Delgado barn. This time, son of a Derby winner is going to have the experience edge over the Gustavo Delgado horse. But this one looks to be doing well. A son of Temple City cost $115,000 at the OBS April sale last spring. 11 published works to his credit, and you just have to respect everything from the barn, especially when Delgado teams up with Hernandez. They're winning races together at a 45% clip. But you also looked at some other horses in here. We have our 2nd and 3rd place horses completely different. So tell us about Focus on Me.
Yeah, Focus on Me gets an outside post here for David Braddy. He's a son of Cantharos. I like that. I think Cantharos horses have proven that they're pretty precocious. Now, he is a 3-year-old, so something must have gone amiss, or they're just taking their time. In either case, I like the way this horse has been trained. David Braddy can get a horse ready first time out, and here's the interesting thing. Edgard Zayas comes off the shelf. I'm sure he's not going to want to ride every race because he's trying to get back, in top riding form. Here's a first-time starter. He sees fit to ride him. I think that speaks volumes for the liveness, if you will, of number 10, Focus on Me. But I think the strategy is very much the same. If you like Son of a Derby winner, what you do is you take Son of a Derby winner and put him over our 4 horses underneath and hope one of those firsters at a price runs underneath.
Sounds like a good strategy to me, and a very nice angle there with Edgard Zayas. So we'll move on to race number 7. This is a $10,000 maiden claimer. Fillies and mares 3-year-olds and up will be sprinting 5.5 furlongs on the main track. Pete and I have the same top horse again in here. That's the 7, Exclusively Dixie.
Yeah, key scratch here, fans. The 10, Dancing My Way Is Out.
Yep.
That was going to be one of the favorites and was plunging in class. The thing about it is, if we're talking about this race 2 weeks ago, I tell you to bet all of your paycheck, hopefully you all got paid yesterday, on Exclusively Dixie, because Zadie couldn't miss. I mean, he was winning and winning and winning and winning. And the last 2 weeks, he's hit a cool spell. So my top pick is Exclusively Dixie based on the barn change, but it does come with a huge asterisk in the sense that Zadie has not been winning races at the same rate he had been 2 weeks ago.
This is true, but he's still winning races at a nice clip. You always want to respect the barn, and he is 33% with new additions to the barn. This one also going to be equipped with blinkers for the first time today. She finished 5th against Similar in her last start back in April when running for a $12,500 tag. Chased the pace and just hung when they turned for home, so that should help her stay a bit more focused. But you also threw in the 5, and that is Drama Princess Coco.
I'm reaching a little bit. 5 furlongs on the turf. And the debut was outpaced by Oscar Gonzalez-trained Sora. Takes the move to the main track, gets a little bit more ground to work with. Hernandez sees fit to take the call. I'll try to give her another chance. Again, this is a race for me. You got to do a little bit of spreading because I think there's some single races involving in your pick 5 and pick 6 today. So for me, because Zadie's cooled and because this horse will take a lot of play, I'd use a few different ones, including the horse that you used third, Media Savvy.
Yeah, this one is 3-year-old filly, going to return to the dirt for the first time since January, and she ran an encouraging second on that surface back in December, beaten only a length and a half. That's what I look back to when I was throwing her on the ticket. This is the lowest tag she's run for. Jockey change today with Luca Panici in the irons. I like that move. I know you do too.
No problem with that. Media Savvy is one of those horses that has not been facing this level of competition. When we get into the maiden races in South Florida, especially on the bottom, that's always my handicapping angle. It doesn't really matter so much form-wise if you can make a case for them on form, as long as they haven't been knocking heads against each other.
That's a good point. Very good point there. We'll move on to the 8th race and return to stakes action. This is the $60,000 Tiger Lily handicap. Fillies and mares 3-year-olds and up going to be sprinting 5 furlongs on the turf course. In here, scratch the 6, the 9, and the 15. Also, Harry Hernandez will be aboard the 2. And before we get to our selections, we're going to take a look back at a race from May 16th. This is the Gracie handicap, and you're going to see a few horses in here that are coming out of this race, including the top 2 finishers. You're going to be taking a look at Little Michelle and Fascinante here. Little Michelle is the one under Tyler Gaffleone, is going to angle out from the rail and really produce an incredible kick of acceleration to get up and nab a very classy turf sprinting mare in Fascinante at the wire. What a photo finish that was. They took a look at that photo for a while. Little Michelle got the edge. Those 2 are both going to return today from that race, as well as some others finishing behind them in that race. I had to put Little Michelle on top, but you put Fascinante on top.
Absolutely. I was going to say this is Katie versus Pete part 2 because you beat me in that photo. You liked Little Michelle last time. Why not like her again today, especially with enough speed signed on? But I'm stubborn. When I get on a horse's bandwagon and I'm on the Fascinante bandwagon, I'll stick with her. She's got an inside draw here. I think she could be the speed of the speed, and I certainly think that with the inside draw, she'll have position. Rios won't let her get far back. She can't be far back. But the point of the story is there's a big field assembled here. I want Fascinante out of trouble. Little Michelle's got an outside gate and comes from off the pace. From a tactical standpoint, I'd rather the former scenario than have to try to find room.
I think Little Michelle just has the advantage here with all the speed that you mentioned. Listen to all the horses in here with speed. Fascinante, Katie's Kiss, Awesome and Then Some, Sweet Forestry, Our Free Roll, Turf Fast. They are all speed demons. They've all run from on the lead or close to it. That's why I think the race sets up for Little Michelle, but she is going to have to work out the trip, and that's always the problem that you have when horses coming from off the pace.
It's actually pretty amazing to me. You have a horse in our free roll that's made over $500,000, and neither me or Katie used her on the top 3. She's not proven on the grass, which is the reason I didn't use her.
Absolutely.
I'm not sure if you did that same logic there, but our free roll is the key to this race, because if she can be as fast on the grass as she is on the dirt, she's in front, whether Fascinante likes it or not. So that's the key question here. How does the speed translate when moving from the dirt, where she's super quick, talking about sub-22s, no problem, to the turf?
Absolutely, and that could both end up biting me and Pete in the behind with our free roll. She is as classy as they come, but unproven on the grass, so we might regret not having her on our top 3 ticket. This is not a race where you're going to single, Pete.
No, not at all. However, the 9th race is. I think we should go there now.
We should. Let's go to the Tangelo Handicap. This is for 3-year-old fillies. This is a very nice field as well. 7 furlongs on the main track. We're going to take a quick look back at a race from Pimlico. This is the Grade 3 Miss Preakness Stakes, and we're going to be watching a horse in here named Huasca, who returns today to Gulfstream. She was the 11 in this race, and she's going to angle out wide and battle her way through some horses to get up for second, beaten only a length and a quarter. This was her first start outside of Florida, and I thought it was a very game performance. I had to give her the edge today over others in this race, because not only has she run at this 7 furlong distance, you see her close really run on well as the horse on the rail gets the edge there, the 9. But not only she run at this 7 furlong distance, she's won over it and never finished off the board in 4 starts at this distance. Pete, I'm guessing this is your single.
It is. I love this filly. Huasca 7-2 on the morning line. Boy, I hope that happens. It'll be a happy Belmont day for me, because let me tell you something, fans. This filly is good. She's really, really good. And the best part about it, you haven't seen her best race yet. I firmly believe that she hasn't given us her best run yet. She's still figuring out racing, but she's just so talented. If you go back and watch the race at Tampa in the Gasparilla, she lost to Irish Jasper. Oh, by the way, that's the same Irish Jasper that just beat her in that backtrack. But you know, the thing about it is that Huasca is a horse that she's kind of a tricky horse to ride. John Velasquez found that out the hard way 3 starts back when he rode her here at Gulfstream. She lost to Lavender Chrissy, but she wasn't ridden the way that she needs to be ridden. She's the kind of horse that needs to be kept her mind on business, not so much from an aggressive standpoint, but just kind of let her know you're there. And of course, you have more horse experience than me, so maybe you can speak to how that all works mentally, but she's really, really good, and I'm excited to see her prove it here.
Well, fillies are known to be temperamental. You have to just let them do what they like, and this one you need to be a little bit more sensitive with to her needs, and she seems to be figuring things out, like you said. But what about the 6 Dogwood Trail? This is a horse you have in 3rd, and this one really brilliantly fast as well. Her first 2 victories were just scintillating here. Disappointed last time out, stumbled at the start up in a stake at Tampa. Trainer Stanley Gold, she said, just didn't like the surface. I think she can rebound and may have the best chance of beating Huasca. What do you think of her?
I think she has a good chance. I'm not surprised at all to hear Stanley Gold say that she didn't take to the surface. You want to talk about polar opposite racetracks, Tampa and Gulfstream. You don't get any farther different than that. Gulfstream is much more of a cushion, speed-laden type racetrack, and at Tampa, even though it's changed over the years, it's still Tampa-based, sand-based. And so if you don't take to a sandy surface, you're not going to like it. So maybe you can excuse her last race.
Let's move on to the final race of the day and the super high 5 race of the day. This is the 10th, a $10,000 maiden claimer. 3-year-olds and up going to be sprinting 5.5 furlongs on the main track. Scratch the 7, Frankie's Trigger. Also, Alejandro Moreno will be aboard the 10, Dr. Cool. We both went with different horses in here. Pete, tell me quickly about the 1, Nito.
Love Nito here. This horse is dropping in class again after being an odds-on favorite last time out. I'm sorry, Brandon, but I'm calling you out. You sent the horse too much too soon last time. 21-3 for maiden 16s. That's never a good idea. Hernandez has the option to get this horse to the lead from the rail here this afternoon, but not pay a 21-3 opening toll to do it. And with the speed on the inside, I think this horse leads him on a merry chase, especially with the scratch of the 7, Frankie's Trigger, and the key handicapping angle against the winner, or my top play, who I hope is the winner, is Starship Rocky, who you like. Steve Dwoskin off the layoff, never my favorite plan.
Yep, this one dropping down from $35,000 maiden claiming ranks for his 3rd career start, should move forward with the class relief after finishing 5th at that level back in layoff. Like this horse, but I have Nito on the ticket as well for all the reasons as mentioned. So Pete, before we sign off, we have to get to the question, who are you taking in today's Belmont Stakes?
My heart and my head are in the same place. I need American Pharoah to win, not only for my sanity, but for all of horse racing. I think it'll be great for the business. I think he's the best horse. I hope to heck he's ready to go, and we can see history today.
I've taken him in the first 2 races. I can't jump off the bandwagon now. From all accounts, he's doing phenomenal. It would be great for racing. We'll see how he does, but I'm going to be playing some exactas with Made from Lucky and Materiality to get some value on the bottom of the ticket there.
Same idea, just I just went a different way. I figure American Pharoah, if he freaks and runs as good as we think he does, maybe the horses like Made from Lucky and Materiality try to chase him, and it's a sham. I don't want to make this comparison, but I'm going to. It's a sham Secretariat scenario where he just rips his heart out and the horses from the back run on. So I'm trying to get Fremento or Tale of Verb to come from way out of it and run underneath, but it's a stretch to say the least.
We'll see. That would be something if we saw a performance like that. I would love to see the first Triple Crown winner of my lifetime. It has been seemingly much too long, Pete. I believe it's the first of yours as well. And we'll see. It's going to be a great day both here and in New York. So come here early and spend the whole day with us. By the way, official American Pharoah merchandise going to be specially priced today here at the gift shop at Gulfstream until 6:30. Also free American Pharoah tattoos if that's something you're into. So going to be a fun one.
Jump on the bandwagon, fans. You can't go wrong.
Good luck today.